At the Umansky Law Firm, we believe everyone deserves a second chance.
Hi, I'm Gary Schwartz. I'm one of the attorneys with the Umansky Law Firm. I'm going to talk a little bit about burglary. Now, burglary, all it is it's basically a trespass or being somewhere you're not allowed to be with the intent to commit a crime, any crime, in that place. So that can be a theft or a criminal mischief or even a battery or an assault. Now, within that, there's a bunch of different types. There's burglary of a conveyance, and that's basically a car or a truck or a boat, and entering into that boat or a car or truck which you don't have permission to be in to commit a crime. So an example of a burglary of a conveyance would be opening a door to a car and taking a radio, because that's entering a car with the intent to commit a theft. Or burglary of conveyance would also be entering into a car with the intent to carve up the seats, because that would be entering into a car with the intent to commit criminal mischief. So that is a burglary. Now, burglary of a conveyance is a third-degree felony, which is the least serious type of burglary, really, but it's still punishable by up to 5 years prison, $5,000 fine, or 5 years probation. Burglary of a structure is also a third-degree felony, punishable by 5 years prison, $5,000 fine, or 5 years probation. Burglary of a structure is entering a building that's not a dwelling, which is not a house or a residence, with the intent to commit a crime like theft or criminal mischief. So there's a question about, can a petty theft be a burglary of a structure? It can be. The way that would happen is if you entered into an area that you're not supposed to be. For instance, let's say you're a customer at Target, and then you go into the employee area and you steal somebody's sandwich. That would be a burglary because you've gone somewhere you're not allowed to be. You've trespassed in the employee area with the intent to commit a crime, which is a theft. Now, in general, the way a petty theft works, or any kind of a theft in a retail establishment, would be you're where you're allowed to be, you're invited to shop. So because you're allowed to be there, it typically would not be a burglary. You just happened to commit a crime while you were where you were allowed to be. So you won't typically see that charge as a burglary structure. So these cases are all very fact dependent. As we move up in seriousness, the next thing that's more important or more seriousness in terms of repercussions is burglary of a dwelling. And that's basically burglary, the same type of burglary we've been speaking of, which is entry into, in this case, a dwelling with the intent to commit a crime therein. But all of a sudden, you're looking at the possibility of 15 years prison, $10,000 fine, and 15 years probation. The other thing about burglary of a dwelling is, even if you've never been in trouble before, you're going to score prison. And when we say score prison, you can look at a couple other videos we have where we're going to talk about score sheets. But basically, in a nutshell, every felony in Florida is ranked 1 to 10, 1 being the least serious, 10 being the most serious. Burglary of a dwelling is a level 7. Now, a lot of times we'll get kids who pick up burglary of a dwelling because they have no idea how serious the issue is or how serious the crime is that they've committed. And a lot of times we'll get kids with no priors. And it's our job to make sure that they don't take a big hit. Now, with kids, it's good because they don't have to worry about adult prison. There's other things we can do with them. If you're over 18 and you get a burglary of a dwelling, it's a big deal because a lot of times the state will ask for what you're scoring, and you have to convince the state to offer you something else, maybe amend the charge to a burglary of a structure, or make some sort of realization that you're a good person and this is the first time you've gotten in trouble, and give you a probationary offer. And then it goes up from there. If you burglarize a dwelling with a weapon, or if you enter someone's house with the intent to commit a battery, then you're looking at the possibility of life in prison. So burglary is, in general, way more serious than you may think. And if you're charged with a burglary, you really need to lawyer up immediately.